Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's Dr. Amna Husain, board certified pediatrician, lactation consultant, and mom. On this channel, we talk everything pediatrics, parenting, medicine, life in medicine, all of the above. Sometimes we keep it educational, but today I thought I would keep it a little bit more fun. I joined TikTok a little late to the game, just a few months ago, but I'm catching on quick-ish. So today I thought I'd be reacting to some of the TikToks that I've been tagged in. Funny, emotional, cringeworthy, and providing a little bit of pediatric and parenting education along the way. All right, so I randomly just picked 5 that I've been tagged in the past. Let's get started.
I'm crazy, I've been tripping. Ow, what the?
First of all, this video has over 8 million views, and there's a reason why. Because every single parent can relate to where this person has been, where this dad has been. First of all, yes, the toddlers, why are they so hyper in the morning? They were so hyper in the morning. And then the newborn that's been up since 3 a.m. I love it. So I have to say that my only hack, and I only have one at this time, so I don't have 2, and I don't know, I'm gonna have my learning curve thrown at me, I'm sure. But my hack personally is to wake up even like 15 minutes before I plan to go get my toddler daughter, because getting that cup of coffee or getting just a few minutes of silence before it's just like hit with noise, it can be like all the difference between having a headache for the rest of the day or not having a headache for the rest of the day, because you got a little extra caffeine, or maybe you even drank some water so you're not dehydrated for the entire day and then suffering with a migraine. But my favorite part in this is the spit up at the end from the baby. That's so gross. I love it.
So what do you do for work? I'm a stay-at-home mom now. Well, I mean, that's not really work. What the hell was that? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were both just saying things that make no fucking sense.
Ugh, this stigma, like stereotype, it needs to go away. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you don't put any focus or attention on your career. And if you're a working mom, you don't put enough attention towards your kids. It's actually, I've done both. And being a stay-at-home mom is actually harder. It's so much harder than like just putting on your work clothes and walking out the day and having your own thoughts to think about. When you're at home, you're doing a billion things. You're not just hanging out with your kids and playing all day. No, you're actually doing a ton of different things and still taking care of your kids and trying to provide optimal emotional attention and support that they need, and still take care of your emotional support. It's a lot. I think that this stereotype has been out there for a long time. I think it's getting a little better, but it's not by any means gone or going to disappear. But people who have zero bearing on your life should not be entitled to an opinion, to weigh in on whether you choose to stay home with your kids or go to work. It's just ridiculous that women still face this. All right, this next one makes fun of the pediatrician, so let's see.
Hi, Mom. How we doing today? Good, good. How's our little trooper? Good, good. Great. That's great. Good. Okay. Good. Is he gaining? Good. Okay, he doesn't look like it, but we're gonna check. Okay, we're gonna look. Okay, great, great. That sounds great.
I hate the patronizing
he's having
voice.
some trouble maybe with feeding. Feeding. Okay. Okay, sure. And where's Dad today? You know what? That's okay. Okay. Anyway, so we're just gonna get a little listen. Little guy's heartbeat. Okay. Thumping like a champ. Sounds great. Sounds beautiful, guys. Sounds good. Sounds good, little guy.
So you don't think there's any like issues I should be worried about?
Actually, so these things are pretty common. You know, you wouldn't think so, but they're pretty common. So everything in babies is pretty common. You wouldn't really think that, but it's pretty common. So, okay, guys, good to see you guys. Thanks, Mom.
I did not like that. Not because it made fun of pediatricians. I mean, certainly there's bad doctors in every field, but like the patronizing voice, I get that we do baby talk a lot. I get it. But I wouldn't baby talk to a parent and patronize them for like whatever they have concerns about and saying that, oh, you know, things are pretty common. Sure, things might be common, but I never say what's common without reviewing what red flags would be good to look out for. Let's say child comes in with a cold and you determine that this is just, you know, your typical virus of the season that might be going around, rhinovirus, enterovirus, you know, it's not flu, it's not COVID. And you say, yes, this is very common, especially, you know, your child might be in daycare, so it's very common. But these are the things that I would be worried about if I were you, mom or dad, so that they feel empowered with the education and decision-making process as well. I didn't like that. And also, one pet peeve of mine is when doctors are typing and looking down. I think you have to be really good at typing and then trying to at least face the patient. I have been in rooms before where the physician's computer is literally like the patient sits here and the physician's back is to you and they are typing on their computer. And it is the worst absolute thing for bedside manner. It's like so awkward. The doctor's not even looking at you. So if you're going to bring your computer into the room, which I have done before, but my personal advice is try to turn the computer or the laptop or tablet, whatever it may be, so that you at least have like face-to-face contact with the patient. That really makes a big difference. And I have to say, just like, you know, hanging on to the video that I said last week, if you have a pediatrician you don't jive with, guys, please don't be afraid to move on to another pediatrician. Don't be afraid. Let's check this one out.
Brody,
What?
what color skin? What color is your skin?
Peach.
Peach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not white, right? It's kind of more like a peach.
Yeah.
And what color is your best friend at school, Vinicius? What color is his skin?
Brown.
Yeah. What color is Sister Joyce's skin?
Brown.
Yeah. What's the difference between people who have peach skin or brown skin?
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
These kinds of conversations might seem awkward or maybe they feel forced, but that's only to us as adults, and that might be because we've never had these conversations. I know that my parents never talked about it, but not talking about racism doesn't make you not racist. Having active conversations to talk about it, talk about the indiscrepancies that exist out there, that's what helps to make individuals grow up to become anti-racist, to actually be more cognizant of any biases that can develop. We know that as early as 6 months of age, a baby's brain can notice race-based differences. And by about age 2 to 4, which is likely what this child is, children can begin to internalize racial biases. Talking about race doesn't make you a racist person. It's actually okay, and more importantly, it's very important. Children might begin to notice changes and differences in people's skin color, and they'll begin to ask questions, and parents need to be prepared to answer them. And you should be a little bit more proactive, I would say, as a parent, to be able to have discussions early on, but recognize where your child is developmentally. So talking to your children openly, confronting your bias, and then encouraging children to challenge racial stereotypes and racial biases is actually very important. I really commend this mom on what she did here. All right, last one. Let's see what this one's about.
Where does the baby sleep? In the crib.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God, stop your fucking lying.
How did I end up on unsafe sleep TikTok? Like, that video really bothered me. But it wasn't necessarily just the co-sleeping, actually. You know, it was actually the fact that this parent felt that she had to lie to her pediatrician. I really hate that. I really don't like it. You know, we want and one thing that we should always do is, instead of saying the child sleeps in the crib, right, is asking an open-ended question: where does the child sleep? And then slowly counseling and saying, I've even had families sometimes where I will acknowledge the sentiments and elephants in the room. Like, I know that sometimes having the baby sleep in the bed can be really tempting. And I have been there too as a new mom. But there's a lot of things from a safety standpoint that we have to think about and consider. And then try and talk to them on a more personal level and meet them where they're at with education and sharing your own personal stories and perspective. Sometimes it's very difficult because parents don't want to feel judged or shamed, and so they walk out and they probably didn't tell their pediatrician everything they should have or wanted to because of that fear they have. But I think the thing to remember here is your pediatrician, again, is not trying to judge you or shame you. Some of us are better communicators than others, but if you feel that your pediatrician is, please switch pediatricians. But all of us will agree that we want your baby sleeping in a safe place. And we have all, unfortunately, seen very devastating things in our training and in our careers. Unfortunately, what we find sometimes in parents is the concept of survivor bias, and I'll tell you what that is. So that's basically, saying that, well, I did it with my child and my child turned out okay, or my 3 children, so it must be okay. But let me just apply that to something as simple as like cutting grapes, because grapes are a big choking hazard, right? Just because your child was able to eat a whole grape and not choke doesn't mean that grapes aren't a choking hazard. It just means that fortunately, actually, you got lucky. But I have to tell parents that, this is something we talk about, and I understand we talk about it from the very beginning, but I always try to acknowledge parents where they're at and recognize that it's really hard, but how pediatric and childhood safety is so paramount, guys. It's so important. It was a lot of fun. I just picked a few TikToks out, but let me know if you guys enjoyed this, if you learned something from it, were able to laugh along with me. Comment below which one was your favorite and if you'd like to see something like this again. I hope you guys have a great week. See you next week. Bye.